How about now? I think we're good. That was weird. Cool. Sounds good. Thank you, Cage. Appreciate it. Very strange. Hubs, what's going on, man? Cool. So we got a bounce. Got a bounce out of SPX, bounce out of NQ, pretty much all names. So, what does that mean for the rest of the day? Look where it bounced the golden pocket, of course, right? Clear reaction here. 3 days. Look at those touches. It's picture perfect. Still not something you can trust in this market to just go ahead and swing, but being trapped in this zone yesterday just killed trades. So now we have big volume coming in, came in overnight. 4,500, or excuse me, 4,450. It's a psychological number. Next thing we're looking at is 45.26. So do we get that trending day? We've lost the 15-minute ADMA. And we're sitting at the hourly. So something you got to watch out for heading into the day. Is it a fake out? Or we're going to get momentum to keep running? So let's look at NQ. I was looking at NQ on the weekly last night. And tech really looks bad in the grand scheme of things. It's not in the best position. It's just the slow bleeds are tough to play, as we all know. But so again, same pattern. It's a pop that was due. We get these bounces, and then they get sold right into resistance as well. So the next thing we have to do is find out where the next level of retracement is going to be. Let's look at Apple. Apple hit the golden pocket. That was kind of expected as well, just because of the nature in which the market had been going. It was just a slow bleed as well. All right. So again, clear reaction to the golden pocket. This is why it's so important to draw these lines. Clear reaction, golden pocket. Now what do? We're here to bounce. That much we do know. And how far do we retrace? Same thing. Almost every chart looks the same. Like everything is ready for a bounce. Microsoft back above 300. Facebook, where did it close yesterday? 217. Amazon's the one we have to watch for. Ideally, we want to see it above the ADMA. It's been acting well. It's going to open above the 8, so that's good. So I think today is one of those days where we can be cautiously optimistic and play the names that are running. I wouldn't sit around and play the names that aren't running. Let's see here. Let's see what Shop is doing. And we do have some earnings coming up as well. Let's take a look at those. Roblox. Let's see what Roblox looks like. So they have earnings after market, I believe, when the market closes. and you don't really get a sense of which way it's going to go. It's kind of just hovering around the ADMA. It's just been chopping around on the daily, but look how far it's sunk. It's a huge retracement on the weekly. And fibs work on the weekly as well. RSX faked you out yesterday. Okay. Let me look at Upstart real quick. Still just choppy as well. There's not, it's hard to get any clear indication on which direction earnings are going to go. It's just a gamble. But you can always draw. And watch what happens throughout the day. Do you get something like this? A move to 116. What kind of lotto would make the most sense? Something like that. Thank you, Braham. You said RSX. Vanik Russian ETF. It's hard to play this. Gaps everywhere. There's no structure here. K-bar. So I can see how you'd get chopped up in this. I mean, look at the gaps alone. Gap. Let's see. It looks like a constellation. It looks like stars. I don't have anything to go off of. Look at this cluster of candles. It's unplayable to me. I mean, look at this thing. How does anybody get any type of momentum on a swing? Excuse me, on a name like this? And this has been choppy long before, there's been, conflict. So that's not a name I'd play. And I can totally see how you'd get faked out on that. Looks like it's going to open up around just shy of $2,500. $25 pre-market. What else are you guys watching? The play speculation is if war or no war. That's right. Does what are some of the names that'll help? If there is war, LMT is one. That's obviously had a huge run. Going back to December. So maybe somebody knew something here. Okay, I'll check out the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, somebody knew something way back here in December. There was no reason for Lockheed Martin to, make this run up. So, oil looks like a run over. What's an oil ticker? Hubs. Four hours and it's still not much better. You just have huge gaps. Gap up, huge gap up, and then just such a harsh sell off. When you sell off under the ADMA, let's look at the market cap. Yeah, I don't think it's liquid enough. K-bar to play. It's got a sell rating. It's down 23% over the last 3 months. That's tough to play. I'd find another one personally. War or no war, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that ticker. It's just not liquid. There's not enough. It's in the millions, so it's very hard to trade. It actually makes more sense now. Um, why the chart looks the way it does, because it's not liquid enough. Oil boys, look at this. Sheesh. Man, it's almost a double. This is a chart. This is why Dan has been preaching oil for a month. So I think if the ADMA holds and you get a bounce, I think it's a good place to enter. You see what's happened the last few times. With the exception of these, if these here, that's a big fake out. It's a $3 move off the ADMA. But by and large, every time it's came and tested the 8, it's bounced. This one here maybe just be, maybe an outlier. I don't know what happened that day, January 24th. Let's look on SPX and see what happened January 24th. Yeah, that was this day here, or maybe it was this one here. That was the day we really sold off. That was our bottom, 42.21. Well, 1.3 billion is still not it's not a lot. What's the market cap of XLF or something like that? Oh, I guess it's a lot, but it's not. For an ETF, it sounds tiny, but I could be wrong. Pre-market will be below. Yeah, it'll be slightly below the ADMA, like 70 cents or something, 75 cents. Yeah, K-Bar, you're thinking about shares of this, right? Not options. I don't know if an options chain even exists, but I imagine that's what you're talking about. You're thinking of a long play. It's just hard for me to front run things, especially in ETF. Like front running an ETF is can be brutal because we're getting in just as retailers late anyway. Yeah, for sure. No, I get you. What else are you guys looking at? I think Ox is a decent play if if you watch it throughout the day. If it can reclaim the 8, then it can likely make another higher high. But it's also really late in the game. This is a strong move. Yeah. Let's just take it from. Let's take it from here. That's a 55% move. Is that the real estate? What's XLRE? Is that the real estate sector? Yeah, real estate sector. Yeah. All right, let's look at F. Tape reading is decent. I need a lot more hours. You need a lot of hours of level 2 reading to really get good at it. It's fascinating though. I really do enjoy it. And I probably understand 10% of it. So it's just something that takes time. But thank you, Seb. That was a great question. I think it really gives you an added. Um, it's just another set of eyes, something to, it's real time. You know where buyers are, where sellers are. Cool. I love the tickers coming in. Thank you, Julia. F is trapped under the ADMA on the hourly. Big bull volume. A candle that looks. Oh, crap. A candle that looks something like that on volume, and also one that'll give you a pop over the ADMA would look good. But F may be dead for a little while. It had a very nice run. There is a gap above, from let's see. Yeah, a huge gap. Maybe that fills. That's a dollar gap. So the first thing I'd look for is something on the hourly, and then I'd work my way down if you're talking about day trades. So on the hourly, again, you want to see big bull volume over the ADMA, higher highs and higher lows while it rides the ADMA. But you got to have momentum on F or you just get chopped up. You'll be very frustrated playing F without volume. You need volume on this name. And you can, drop down to lower time frames. Oh, you'd like it to drop? Well, yeah. I mean, if that's your position, then yeah. What's your expiration? I mean, yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to go up, I guess. RSI is low. I don't know how much lower it will go, but it is trapped under the 8, and that's a good indication. But it looks like it's going to open up above. So you just have to monitor it. You just start on the hourly, drop down to the 15. Or if it's a longer swing and you have more time on the contracts, just watch the daily and don't get faked out. Because you're still under the ADMA on the daily. Let's look at Netflix. $13 put for. I don't know what 31/8 is. Oh, 318. Yeah, you're fine. Just look at the daily. Don't look at the hourly at all. You have plenty of time on that contract. Netflix, not sure I would play. There's not much going on here. You have to wait for Netflix to repair itself. I think Netflix becomes, I'll make this much smaller. I think Netflix becomes playable again when you can get in here. Because you're going to run into resistance like you did here at 457, 460. Colin. So, you have plenty of time to play when it gets up here. It's very choppy below this resistance. It fell too hard. If you want to front running it is dangerous too, as long as it's under the ADMA on the daily, because you really need volume on these FANG names. I suspect that it'll just chop around under resistance, right, until it's ready to pop. But if you can position yourself well, longer dated contracts, 600 doesn't seem unreasonable. Ooh, 400 now. That's too far out. Maybe 500s. 500s, in the summer. 4 months out or something like that. But if you're day trading, it's not a day tradable move to me unless you're watching flow. But how do you trade this on the 15 and not die of 1,000 paper cuts? What's your entry on any of this? I guess something like this. I guess a big volume bar like this. 630. What was that? Yesterday. Now this would have been a fantastic day trade, but it's given the entire move back, and now you're back under the ADMA. Works, my guy. Coin very similar, actually. Those move together, it looks like right now. I'll get to SE in just a second, Julia. Coin trapped under the 8. It's going to open up above the 8. Need volume. They have earnings coming up as well. Let's see what day. Next week. If you're looking to play an earnings run up, you want to see a trend change. So it looks like maybe a retest. You'd have to see something like that. Because if it drops back below the 8, which is also this trend line, it's cooked. There's probably not anything there. Not on the daily, at least. Let's look at the hourly. Trapped under the ADMA on the hourly. I think Bitcoin doesn't look good as well. Let's see. Oh, it recovered. Okay. Sometimes they run together. Sometimes they don't. SE. What position are you thinking about, Julia? Long or short? Actually, don't answer that. I'll give you what I think. You have exit volume, big exit volume coming in. Look at this bar. It dwarfs all the other volume candlesticks on the daily. So if you're short, fine. There's probably more downside, and I'd wait for it to bottom out. You want it to just, kind of round out. Entry to maybe long would be above the 8. Yeah. You might be in for just a little bit of pain, depending on if this is the climax or not. Let's drop down to an hourly time frame. Yeah, that was a lot of exit pressure, and then they tried to pop it and it got sold again. So I can even draw a fib on this little tiny range here. Let's see. So even that, reacted to the 0.786. So you want to see huge volume coming in, and you almost need to see volume that supersedes this exit candle here for it to be real. So you got to start there. Shorting Roku into earnings. Roku I had on my watch. Let's see. It's a wild card. So obviously you know the nature of Lotto's, Landon. It really is a coin flip, but it's trading in this channel. That's been interesting to me. So do they disappoint? Come back down to the lower trend line, or maybe even lower? Of course, Julia, you're welcome. It's something to watch out for. I think if ad revenue and all that stuff, if everybody else is having problems, and this is fundamental, not technical, obviously, but if everyone else is having trouble with ads and stuff like that, I don't know why Roku would be any different. But nothing's really made sense. So, when is earnings? 2 days from now. Interesting. Let's see. It'd be a lotto. I don't, you're just playing a channel. But it'd be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Do they, what they did with a firm was they ran a firm up like 40% in 2 days and then sold it off. That was really the writing was on the wall for me on that one. I was short, but I got in short too early. I got in short on Monday. Took $45 puts on a firm. This was last Monday. And because I knew it was there's just no way, in market conditions like this, there's no way for a name like a firm to skyrocket on earnings. Everything else is selling off. The firm's not going to be the outlier. But yeah, it's a coin flip, Landon. That's really that's the only thing I can really say. You either break the channel or you come back down and test the mid trend line. Maybe go both ways. Get a strangle. Go 50 points out of the money on both ways, long and short. Don't forget to give this a video a thumbs up, guys. Please, please, if you haven't. Let's see what's going on. So if we're running, if the algos are turned on, and if this holds, 44.75 can possibly come today. Possibly, if this ADMA holds, and we kind of just melt up, and we can look at the 15-minute. We're back above the ADMA. $44.70 looks like it could be the next target. Yeah, upstarts today, bro. You know, if a firm was any any indication of what is going on in that space, you know, sub 100, I'm sure the premium is just jacked. Let me see. Premium on, let's see. Let's go 15 up, 15 down. Because Upstart is sold off crazy too. It's like went from 400 to 100. Right? Is that right? Yeah. 402, and look where we are. Just a savage move. And really, it doesn't mean anything. Fill that gap. They'd have to get a really hard pop. It probably sells off, just like a firm. Let's see what the chain looks like. They're expecting a huge move. $10 out of the money is $6. At the money is 10. So it's an expensive lotto. You'd have to go 30 or 40 points out of the money to make it decent. But that would require them to lose, you know, it's basically at 100, you know, they'd have to lose 40% of their value based on an earnings reaction. So, you know, that's tough to play as well. If you're looking for a cheap lotto, maybe 85s, it's $3 is, you know, is reasonable. And if you go 15 up, what's that, 23? No, those are $6. So, but I think somebody's going to get paid on an Upstart lotto, earnings lotto. Up or down, nobody knows. Tesla, huge pop. Look at this. So it's just, you know, we're just ping-ponging. Just chop. You know, I talked about it a couple weeks ago in the weekly watch list video. Great for day trades. It's horrible for swinging. All right, so we're at the ADMA. First target was 44.72. Just 9 points away from that. In queue. And these fibs I haven't touched in, I don't know, since way back here, since the bottom, basically. You know, when I get off here, I'll look at, you know, I'll start watching level 2. But, you know, this 15-200 range on NQ, it's very difficult. And it's the same with SPX. 4600 has just been trouble. You know, I think we we would have to get right to 45.30, 45.40. At close one of these days, and then it would just have to be complete rage of big bull volume to just blast over this zone here, this 40, 45.50, 45.60, en route to 4,700. But you can't look that far until you get, you can't start looking at 47 until you get way over 45.50. But it's a decent start to the morning. I'm neither bullish nor bearish. I've been trading way less, like almost non-existent. This is like a huge move is coming, and it's it's just a matter of time. So it's one of those things where you have to be patient. You can't get chopped up in these areas here. Fight the temptation to swing, expensive Tesla calls overnight. If you can find a day trade, play a day trade, but it's very hard to swing in this market. What else are you guys watching? Let's see what Netflix is doing. Is it me, or did the font on TradingView change? Yeah. Very hard to play. Just trapped. And the one time it broke through, a week after earnings, just got shot right back down. Lost 60. Last time it hit this zone, dropped 60. Oh, shop was the one I wanted to look at. Wait, when is Roku's earnings? Yeah, 17th. Shop is flat. My microphone is on. Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello. Well, that'd be a bummer if I was talking and that mic wasn't on. Okay. Thank you, Hubs. Cool. Maybe just exit out of YouTube. Just close it and fire it back up. I have been reading YouTube has issues, which sucks. Let's see what Shop's doing. Shop has earnings this week as well. Wow, we got some really big earnings. So this is tomorrow before open. I know this is Chris's name, one of Chris's names. Oh, this is interesting. Let's look at the contracts on that. 100 up, 100 down. Let's see what Shop has for us. Because I don't think it's going to be a mild reaction one way or the other. $100 down is over $1,000. So 1140. 100 points down, 100 points up is 17. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. 1960 is $17. Wide spreads though. And 100 down is 11. Interesting. Too expensive. Too expensive. What else are you guys watching? Let's look at my watch list. Netflix, Nvidia, Disney. Disney's chopping around. There's a bear flag on the daily on AMD. This is interesting. Because if chips lose it, it's barbecue time. Let's get some fibs. Kiss the golden pocket. Bounced. Trapped under the ADMA now. Interesting. I keep my eye on this. Here. All right, guys, I got to wrap it up. All right, guys. I will, I'm going to hop off. I will see you guys in the chat. Look for a pop above the ADMA on the daily. 44.72. If we can get above 44.72, I think we can really run. I think that's the most important number over the next 2 hours. So, yeah, the pause button on. User error, bro. I'll see you guys in the chat. Let me get the kids some breakfast and out the door, and I will get back with you guys later. 44.72 though. Keep an eye on it. If that triggers, I think the algos turn on. If they don't, I think we just chop around again. You guys have a great day as always. I am really appreciative of you guys tapping in every time I hop on. So thank you guys. I'll see you soon.